You yourself might be so ill-advised as to tell the whole story in the end. Of course I would try to prevent you, and as far as the trial is concerned I think I could use means to prevent you. But if the result was unfavourable, and knowing what eccentric things juries do, we must recognise the possibility of an unfavourable verdict, you might consider it advisable to disclose everything in the hope of having the conviction quashed by an appeal." For the first time since she had sat down he looked at her, and as he caught her upward gaze he flushed. "I would tell everything if you were arrested," she said in a low voice. "Ah, so I thought," he said in a tone of disapproval. "The question now is, what means can be adopted to prevent a catastrophe? I have thought earnestly about it, and as you are almost as much concerned in preventing public disclosures as I am, I desire to consult you before taking any definite course. It is this man Crewe who is the danger, and the question is, how are we to stop him proceeding to extremes? One way is for me to see him and take him into my confidence, to explain fully to him what happened. He would not be satisfied with less than the full story. If I kept anything back his suspicions would remain. In fact, they would be strengthened. I would have to explain to him why and how I induced Sir Horace to return unexpectedly from Scotland on that fatal night, and what took place at Riversbrook. You will understand why I have hesitated to adopt that course. I would not suggest it to you now except that I see it would save you from the danger of something a great deal worse. Of course it would save me from the annoyance of being suspected of knowing something about the actual murder, but it is your interests that come first in the matter. It would be effective in putting an end to all our fears, all my fears. I would bind him to secrecy, of course. I do not ask you to come to a decision immediately, but I do ask you to think it over and let me know. I have been extremely reluctant to put this proposal before you, because I should hate carrying it out, because I should hate telling this man of things which are really no concern of anyone but ourselves. But I cannot disguise from myself that it would remove a great danger. I believe the secret would be safe with him. I understand that in private life he is a gentleman, and that I would be safe in taking his word of honour. It would not be necessary for him to tell the police, still less to tell Miss Fewbanks." "Is there no other way?" she asked. "Have you thought of any other way?" "Yes. The only other way out that I have been able to find is for me to see Miss Fewbanks and ask her to withdraw the case from Crewe. I would not tell her everything. I would not bring you into it at all. But I could tell her that I had had an urgent matter to discuss with her father, that he came from Scotland to discuss it with me, and that after I left him he was murdered. I would tell her that it was quite impossible for me to disclose what the business was about, but that Crewe, having learned that I had seen her father that night, was extremely suspicious. I would ask her to accept my word of honour that I had no knowledge of who killed her father, and to relieve me of the annoyance of the attentions of this man Crewe. I think she would agree to that proposal. That is the other way out, and from something which has happened this morning I am inclined to think that it is the better and quicker course to pursue." She was thinking so deeply that she did not reply. At length she became conscious of a long silence. "It is very good of you to ask my opinion, to consult with me at all. It is you that have everything at stake. I would like to do my best, but I think if you gave me time. Is there any great urgency? 2 days at most is all I want." "I cannot give you 2 days," he replied with a sombre smile. "You must decide today, at once, otherwise it will be too late." She looked at him with parted lips and alarm in her eyes. "What do you mean?" she breathed. "What have you hidden? Is the danger immediate?" "I think so. For some days past my movements have been dogged by a boy in Crewe's employ. Nearly a week ago I decided, after the worry and anxiety of this unhappy affair, to go away for a short trip. I thought a sea voyage to America and back might do me good and fit me for my work again." He sighed unconsciously and went on. "Crewe has become acquainted with my intended departure and has placed his own interpretation on it. He assumes that I am seeking safety in flight, that I have no intention of coming back to England. The result has been that the boy Crewe had set to watch my movements has been replaced by 2 men from Scotland Yard, one watching these chambers from the front and the other from the rear." He walked across to the window and glanced quickly through the curtain. "Yes, they are still here." She sprang from her seat and followed him to the window. "Where are they?" she gasped. "Show them to me." "There. Do not move the curtain or they will suspect we are watching them. Look a little to the left by the lamp post. The other you can catch a glimpse of, if you look between those 2 trees." "What does it mean? Why are they waiting?" she burst out. Her face had gone very pale and her big dark eyes glared affrightedly from the window to her husband. "Hush! I beg you not to lose your self-control. It is essential neither of us should lose our heads," he said warningly. She regained command of herself with an effort, and whispered rather than spoke, with twitching lips: "What does the presence of these men mean?" "It means that Crewe has already communicated with Scotland Yard." "And that you will be arrested for his murder?" Her trembling lips could hardly frame the words. "I think so. It's almost certain. But apparently the warrant is not yet issued, or those men would come here and arrest me. But they are watching to prevent my escape, if I thought of escaping. We may yet have a few hours to arrange something, but you must come to a prompt decision." "Tell me what to do and I will do it. Oh, let me help you if I can. What is the best thing to do? To see Crewe?" "No, I forbid you to see Crewe," he said harshly. "If we decide on that course I will see him myself." "And you may be arrested the moment you go out of these chambers," she returned. "Oh, no, no, that is not a good plan. We have not the time. I will go to Mabel Fewbanks at once and beg her, for all our sakes, not to allow this to go any further." He shook his head. "You must not sacrifice yourself," he said. "That would be foolish." "I will not sacrifice myself. I will tell her just what you have told me, that her father came from Scotland to discuss an urgent matter with you, and that he was murdered after you left. I feel certain this man Crewe is going to extremes without her knowledge or consent, and that she will be the first to bury this awful thing when she learns that you have been implicated. Is not this the best thing to do?" "It is," he reluctantly admitted, "but I do not wish you to be mixed up in it at all." "I'm not mixing myself up in it. I'm too selfish for that. But I swear to you if you do not let me do this I will confess everything. I know Mabel Fewbanks, and I repeat she is not aware of what this man Crewe has done. She would not, will not, permit it. I shall go down to Dellmere at once." Her face was pale and her eyes glittered as she looked at her husband, but she spoke with unnatural self-possession. With feverish energy she pulled on a glove she had taken off when she entered, and buttoned it. "I will, I shall,